To my left, I have a whole case of DZ 0 Set 1. To my right, an already pre-purchased silver rare of Varga. With these two combined, and a whole bunch of now merged together as well, I seek to summon a secret rare Varga, please and thank you. Hello everyone and welcome to a box opening of set 1 of the DivineZ era. As you can see behind me, I have a whole carton which will be opened on my Twitch. Already has been opened by the time you're watching this. But we're going to of course start off with the one box as usual to see what these new pull rates are looking like, because they are actually refreshed into this new set. This is of course the very important first set of Divines, and it includes a lot of really good cards. And in my opinion, if you can afford a carton and you play every single nation like me and you kind of just like want to have all the cards, this is one of those sets to buy a carton for. They don't come very often. I would say the last one was set 6, honestly. Because whenever they do these big sets where they reprint like PGs and over triggers and a bunch of staples and generics and new boss units, that's where a lot of the good value is. And these boss units are going to be around for a while, I feel like, so it's definitely a good one to pick up. On the back, of course, we have the other 3 divine skill users, the 3 other fated ones, together with, of course, Rezael. So we have Chris Rain, Welstra, and Varga Dragress. Here you have QR codes for the official card website, the official X/Twitter, and the official YouTube Vanguard channel. On the sides, we have the set logo together with the Vanguard logo and some set specifics. Each box contains 16 packs still, and of course contains now not just the 5 main nations, but also Lyrical Monasterio for the first time ever, if you don't count Festival Booster, I suppose. And then in terms of the other breakdown, we have 18 types of triple rares, which is I think the most we've ever had. 8 types of over double rares, of course, as the over trigger, so it's the 6 nations plus the red and blue one from Festival Booster. 24 double, 24 rares, and 72 types of commons. So rares and double rares are almost the same amount of variety. 1 DSR, which is Rezael. Then we have 4 secrets, which are all 4 of the faded ones. 18 types of FFRs, which is basically all of the triple rares. 48 types of FRs, which I believe encompasses all the double rares and rares, and then 42 types of SRs, which is the triple rares and double rares combined. And you get at least 1 silver rare per box, and I can already show you actually out here, but they actually look very nice. So you can kind of see here the foil pattern. I can remove it even from the sleeve, but it's pretty obvious, I think. Like, the foil pattern is that of a triple rare. It doesn't have any texture on the actual card itself, but this part at the bottom where you have this little like silver border is textured, and the name is also textured. You can really feel it here, and also the Persona Ride icon too. In my opinion, these are basically as good as SPs. Of course, they don't have like the layering and texturing, but I feel like they still look super beautiful, and I decided to pick one up already because even if I do pull one from my case, I mean, the maximum I can get is probably like, if I'm lucky, 2. So I kind of just wanted to get one already just to have for my ride deck. But let's put that away and get into it and open up this first box of the DivineZ sets. So of course, the box art just includes Rezael as well as Akina, our new protagonist that uses Keter Sanctuary. And he is the GOAT. He's a very cool protagonist. I'm already a big fan of him. And you can see here that of course the pack art is going to be the same as the box art, and it's just 1 pack art this time as well. So it is just Akina together with Rezael. The back of it looks like so it really fits the color scheme as well, which looks very, very nice. But let's get into it. We've already gone over all of the set specifics and open up this box of 16 packs, which I'm very, very excited. I also have this beautiful playmat from the WGB Nationals, which I got from Ese, one of my friends who commentated for my invitationals on the Japanese side. We also in the set have, of course, the cards with effects from the quick starter decks. So this is Maybe. Her name is actually Maybe. That's kind of funny. When you use Ditch from hand for during your ride phase, you Soul Blast 2 to draw a card, which is pretty nice. We have this cat, which if you have a Rezael Vanguard, gets plus 5k and plus 5k power and plus 5k shield on both players' turns. Oops, I skipped a card. We have a Keter Sanctuary Perfect Guard. So they are rares. In the starter decks, they are only common, which is nice. It's a good rare to hit. And we have our first double rare, which is going to be the Swing By Dragon. This is support for Ashterm, so basically this is another card that on place draws you 1 for Counter Blast 1, and when it's stood by a card ability, you Soul Blast 1 when it's in the front row to give it plus 2k, and if you Soul Blast at an Ashterm, then you also stand this unit. So basically it's like when you stand another rearguard, he also can stand. So basically a way to make 5 attacks, so he's a must-have double rare for the starter decks, and he's super cheap, so updating those starter decks is actually very easy. And we have the starter here for Rezael, as well as one of the commons, for Christianos. So this is actually the grade 2 of the ride line. And we have our first of the Blitz orders, that Energy Blast 2. So you'll notice that all the commons in this set are actually pretty cool. But this order lets you Energy Blast 2 to play it, which of course is the mechanic, or not really mechanic, a new resource in Vanguard. And it feels like it was about time that we get a new resource in Vanguard, you know, after almost 15 years of the game existing. And if you do pay Energy Blast 2, if one of your rears has been placed somewhere other than the rear guard circle by one of your opponent's card abilities, then you can choose the attacked unit and give it plus 25k shield or plus 25k power for that battle. So one card 25k shield is very appreciated. All right, let's move into pack number 2. So for this first box, I always like to take it kind of slow and go over all the cards because there's also a lot of cards I haven't seen too, or I've seen but maybe forgotten throughout like the reveal cycle. This is the grade 1 of the ride line for Lyrical. I really like the art of it. This is the one that basically says that when you ride the grade 2 over her, you can choose a grade 2 or lower normal unit from your hand and call it to rear, and then search your deck for a card with the same name as it and also add it to your hand. So this can actually search you PGs, which is pretty huge. And she gets plus 5k if you have a Merit Lane Vanguard, which is the grade 3 from the quick start deck. So that's very cool. We have one of the ride phase Soul Blaster to draw guys. Our first rare that is in the PG, the Raufen. When he boosts, if it's the third or more battle of the turn, count +1 Energy Blast 2 to draw a card and get plus 5k power. So this is basically one of the generic Energy Blast cards that you can use. This is another one of the cards from the quick start deck. This one's a rare, so when during the ride phase this card is ditched from your hand, you can call it to rear as rest. So it's a nice way to just like not lose advantage. And then we have ourselves another one of these support cards from the Merit Lane quick start deck. And then we actually have a new ride line. So this is of course the Scalia. So this is the defensive ride line, which we've taken a look at in a previous video, and the grade 0 for the ride line of the Direful Dolls, which is another really cool ride line from this set. I think I haven't talked about it in video yet. I think this video should be going up before I upload my first impressions because I haven't had time to record my first impressions at the time of recording this video. I think those of you that follow me on Twitter and whatnot know that I've been incredibly busy with everything happening around the World Finals here in Japan. So I haven't really had time to sit down and make videos, so I hope you understand my slow comeback to making YouTube videos again. This is Rascalia's grade 2 support. Basically lets you get a Blitz order back from your hand, from your drop, which is nice. There's another one of those when ditched rares. Then this is also the same card, but for Lyrical. And we have our over trigger for the box, which is Blessed Favor. So they reprinted all the over triggers in the set, including Lyrical, as well as the 2 from Festival Booster as well, which is very nice. And then we have ourselves a Blitz order for Keter. This one is Energy Blast 2 to play it. Look at the top card of your deck, and you may either call it to Guardian Circle or leave it on top of your deck. And if you did call, then the called unit gets plus 10k shield. So pretty good. You can kind of choose if you want to like keep it as a damage check or not. And then the grade 2 of the Ashturm ride line as well. This one lets you search for the Pretiosa, which is the, I think, normal order for this deck. And it also functions as a 15k shield in the deck too, so it's a pretty good card. It's really refreshing to open up some Vanguard packs again. I opened a bunch of triple drive booster, but not that much. And I haven't really gone ham on a set where I'd buy a case for quite a while too. We have grade 1 Rascalia, very nice art. One of the other quick start deck cards. This one's a rare, and we got it as the second card in the pack, which is pretty interesting. Another one of the CB1 Energy Blast 2 to draw a card and get power cards. And then we have a double rare. Ooh, this is a really good new, in my opinion, this is going to be probably the new Battle Door. So Battle Door, for those that don't know, is actually a Nova Grappler rare that is just like a random Vanguard Circle skill. It was the first iteration of that kind of Guard Restrict, and her, Raumu, is the first iteration of her own Guard Restrict, where she Energy Blasts 3 if you fulfilled her condition, and for that battle, if your opponent wouldn't guard with a Sentinel, they have to guard with 3 different grades at the same time or they cannot guard. So I think that whole guard with 3 different grades might be seen in future like sets with other nations too, but it's a really cool double rare. And ooh, we have a token. So this is of course the energy card. So energy cards are of course the new mechanic, and they are the energy, but you can also use the snakes and ladders that you have from the quick start decks. But we also have a back to them, and these will always kind of show something. So this one is just kind of like talking about the anime, but sometimes you get the character ones, and I've already bought 5 of these Nao ones, and I think in that case I should get another 5, and I really want them, I really want the Nao ones just because I really like Nao. But anyway, moving on, we have more. This is the really good support card for the Dark States Quick Start deck, and this is also the last card they revealed, I think, for the set, which is a Lyrical normal order where you Energy Blast 2 to play it, and then you give 3 of your regards plus 5k. So it's a bit worse than the selfie one, but still okay. And the grade 1 for the Ashturm ride line, which also just searches you the order. So I'm really taking my time and just kind of enjoying myself. We haven't pulled any triple rares yet, and we're supposed to get 5 of them per box in this set. Oh, and of course there's also triggers in this set as well, but they're all Cray Elementals, so they're all generic. You can play this in any deck you want, so they don't have a nation symbol to them, which is very cool. Oh, we also get one of the fronts, and we get a Perfect Guard Force to Ikea, And we get a rare, which is when ditched during ride phase, you call it to the rearguard circle. And oh, we have our first silver rare. Okay, so this is actually a very nice one because it's a triple rare silver rare. So this is the triple rare support for Rezael. Damn, the silver rare looks really good. I think initially when they revealed it, I wasn't too sold on it, but when I first saw it in person, I was like, never mind, I actually quite like this. The foiling looks cool. The fact that these sides on the bottom are textured is really nice. And like, if it has a Persona Red icon, that's textured too. I think the grade icon is actually textured, which is really nice. So there is a bit of texture to it, and there's also just like, you can see that the foiling is still strategically placed as you'd expect it to be, which is very nice. So this one, when placed on rearguard circle, if your Vanguard is a Rezael, grade 3 or greater, kind of must one look at top 3, and if you find a grade 3 or lower, you can call it to rear and put the rest to bot deck. But then if you play this during the battle phase, you add it to hand instead. So it can actually search you PGs, but in main phase, of course, is basically like a Carbre, where you're basically, Carbre is an old card that allowed you to look at the top cards of your deck and call something from among them. So this is basically kind of a similar one, but also has a second skill where when it attacks a grade 3 or greater, if your Vanguard is a Rezael, you get to Soul Blast 1 and get plus 10k. So Carbre didn't have that, so it is an upgrade to that. So this is very nice. We do get at least 1 silver rare per box, and there's a chance to get 2 apparently. And especially because we can get some of the triple rares as silver rares, that helps to buff the amount of triple rares you get per box / case. So that's why I think that as long as the silver rares keep on happening, I think we can expect the, they probably want to keep them in future sets too. So this is the order that the Ashturn ride line searches. So it's a grade 2 set order that kind of wants 1 to play it. And then when it's in the order zone, when your Ashturn stands a rearguard, for that turn, that stood unit and your Vanguard get plus 5k. So if you have multiple of these, then of course the power also stacks. Wow, this is really cool. When placed on rear, Energy Blast 4 to countercharge 1. This could see some use in some stuff, I suppose. Maybe like Eva or something. This is again another one of the quick start deck cards with an effect now. The Dragon Empire PG. I really like the art of this one. He's a cool little monk dude. Okay, we have the grade 2 ride line for Marilyn. Really like the art of this one. Just looks like a really cool idol. I really like cool looking idols in particular. The new Karis, there's the new Magnolia ride line. They finally fixed that too. And look at this, little doggos. Actually, I haven't read this one. So it's Energy Blast 2. It's a normal order that lets you choose 2 units. And for that turn, they get the continuous skills that when this unit is... during the battle, this unit was boosted. It gets plus 10k power. And if you have 5 or more units on board, you draw 1. So it basically replaces itself. So that's so nice. Like I really like arts like this, where it's like not really showing like a battle or anything, but it's just a little like slice of cray basically, right? So I'm a really huge fan of this. Just really like arts like this. It's so pretty. Anyway, let's keep on moving. I think we're getting into like halfway of the box. So we've pulled 1 silver rare, but we haven't pulled any actual triple rares. So hoping to see something cool stuff. We have Chris Reigns grade 2 of the ride line. We have the grade 1 of the Cristianos ride line. Oh, we do have a double rare here after Gigantic Masher, which is a 28k attacker for Rezael. And it is the double rare for the Keter quick start deck. So of course, this one is the Zaref Sile support. So it lets you CB1 to call something from top 5, and when you attack, Soul Blast 1 to get plus 5k, and if you Soul Blasted a Zaref Sile for this cost, you can either countercharge 1 or energy charge 3. Really cool card, and of course, you lose a lot of energy, and you use a lot of energy using Zaref Sile's effect every battle, so you do actually want that energy charge quite a bit. So overall, this card also looks sick. I mean, it's Daisuke Izuka art, like, you can never complain about Daisuke Izuka art, it always looks amazing. So we're gonna put you down here. Grade 2 for the Wellstra ride line 2, so of course, this is the one that helps you on attack to energy blast and operate a product. And if you don't know what that is basically like Wellstra as a deck focuses on product cards, which are order cards that are basically operatable, and whenever you operate, for example by his effect, you get to do a bunch of effects. So it spans to like getting extra attacks, or like minusing your opponent's Vanguard's power, retiring your opponent's units, all kinds of stuff. And when he's ridden over by Wellstra with a divine skill, you get to basically Soul Blast 1 and ditch 1 to search your deck for 2 products actually that aren't in your order zone and add them to your hand, which is really strong actually in my opinion. This is a new Greedon card. I haven't read this one. When placed on rear, if you have a Greedon or Desire Devil in your drop, you choose 1 and put it into your soul. So that immediately sets up your Greedon's 7 damage effect. And after that, if you have a total of 4 more Greedon or Desire Devils in your soul, he gets plus 5k for the turn. That's pretty good. I actually straight up haven't read this effect yet. Oh, and this one is when it attacks the Vanguard, Energy Blast 4 to choose the opponent's rearguard and bind it. That's not too bad either. I'm trying to remember what is it that likes our opponent's stuff being bound. I guess Shoujo Doji? could theoretically use that, but it's not a stealth, so it feels like it's a little bit anti-synergistic. We have the grade 2 Latias of the Magnolia ride line, also very nice. A 5k power, 5k shield girl for Lyrical. Dark States PG, very cool and pretty. And the Brank APG. I want these in FR, by the way. I need to make sure I get them fast this time because last time around in set 6, I kind of took my time. Oh, we actually have an FFR in the first box. Should we leave this for last? I feel like we should leave this for last. Hold up. There's gonna be these two. Okay, I can actually remove this and we'll take a look at that later. So this was the PG, and then we have our grade 1 ride line Wellstra card, as well as another Energy Blast 4 to draw card. We're gonna leave the FR for last. It's gonna be just over here, okay? This is also a completely fresh playmat. Come on, I've actually pulled the FR and the silver rare, so it's FFR, it's not even FR. FFRs are actually still like 2 to 4 per case. We have the grade 2 of the Direful Doll ride line. Oh, we have the grilling meat, like Gandiva order. Kind of cool. Energy Blast 2 to play it, and then from your deck, or you look at the top cards of your deck equal to your opponent's open rearguard circles, and choose a card that's equal to or lower grade than your Vanguard. And then if you have retired opponent's rearguard by your effect, then for that turn the cold unit gets plus 5k. So it's actually not a bad card, it pluses, right? So it's pretty nice. We have another generic card for Lyrical, another generic card for Stoicheia, and we have an FR in here too. Yushun, this very like Pyromagnus looking card. So he's just when he boosts, if you have 5 or more soul, can almost 1 Energy Blast 2 to draw a card and get plus 5k. So he's like the same as these two, but he comes in FR, which is, I mean, it looks pretty. Again, where are our triple rares? I'm like kind of moderately concerned here. Oh, and this is the really good blitz order for the new Stoicheia deck, which of course allows you to play more blitz orders per turn. This is the card that actually enables it. It's just a common, which is very nice. All right, we move yonder forward into our box opening, and I want to start seeing some triple rares here. Direful Doll, of course, these cards are really, really good, but I feel like I should kind of focus on them on their own. This is one of the support cards for Varga, so I hope that maybe is an omen to what's coming in this box, or in this pack rather. We have our Keter generic and a token. All right, what is it going to be on the back? It's going to be, all right, it is Akina Myodo, of course, our new main character. So we got ourselves another one of these. One of the Direful Dolls that kind of like binds and sets up soul, so it's very cool. The whole Direful Doll deck in general is really sweet. I think we have about 5 to 6 packs left, so we're definitely in the latter half of this box now. So let's see. We have our Ashturm, like big attacker, I guess. Big attacker for our other deck. Then we have the Dragon Empire one. We have our Bug from the quick start deck and a triple rare, which I kind of got spoiled. It is Varga. Looks really sick. I'm a huge fan of Varga. If you don't know what it does, already made a video about it, but it basically says when it attacks the Vanguard, counterblast 1 and wipe out both players' front rows, and then he gets plus 10k, and at the end of the battle he stands and loses 2 drives. So that means he cannot be used with the Dragon Empire OT, which is quite surprising because most Dragon Empire decks are kind of meant to work with the Dragon Empire OT, but this one does not. And his divine skill, of course, is if your opponent, or when he attacks a grade 3 or greater, at the end of that battle, if your opponent's damage is 4 or more, and if he's attacked 2 or more times this turn, you CB1 to stand him and give him plus 2 drives. That way he attacks with 2 drives, then 0, and then 2 again. So he basically slices with his swords 3 times, and of course, divine skills are a once per game ability. Really happy about this. Of course, I'm a huge fan of this deck. Like, I know it's just another Overlord clone, but I love Nao, and I sometimes it's just a character that's enough to make me like it. And we get the grade 2 of the ride line, which is actually a really good card, by the way. So the grade 2 of the ride line is when you ride Varga over it, it calls itself out, and when it attacks the Vanguard on rear, if your Vanguard is Varga, you get plus 5k for the battle, and at the end of the battle, he retires itself and draws a card. So I actually probably want to play multiple copies of these just because of the fact that that skill is that good, right? So we also have the Lyrical starter, and then the very cool like Field Sports Day whatever order. Energy Blast 2 to play it, choose a rearguard for that turn, give it a skill that at the end of the turn, if you have attack 4 or more times, draw a card and get plus 5k to that rearguard too. It's a mini inlet pulse, which is very nice. All right, 5 packs left if I'm not mistaken, and our FFR is still awaiting down there. This is a very hot box too. Grade 1 of the Keter quick start deck ride line. So of course this lets you call cards from the top of the deck. I think I already talked about all these cards in a separate video, so if you'll really check that out. Cool blitz order. I really like the art of this one for Dragon Empire. So when your opponent's Vanguard's grade 3 or greater, Energy Blast 2 to play it, and your Vanguard gets plus 25k power for that battle. Honestly, just like very quick and simple, right? Ooh, we have a double rare, the Direful Doll Providenza. So when she attacks, if your Vanguard's a Direful Doll grade 3, she gets plus 10k power for free, which is really good. And at the end of the battle, she attacked, your Vanguard is a Direful Doll grade 3 or greater, Energy Blast 3 and bind her here to choose a direful doll that is a workeroid from your soul, different name from her, and call it to rear. So she is the multi-attack enabler in this deck, which is really, really nice. And we have another double rare. Okay, 2 doubles. We have, oh, this is the Cycler. So this is the grade 1 Cycler for Dragon Empire that basically allows you to make a unit 2 crit, but then it loses the 2 crit at the end of its battle. So it kind of like benefits 3 attack decks. So that's very nice. We actually got 2 doubles in the same pack. And T-Find is the grade 1 of the Chris Rain ride line. And then of course we have a cool order for Dark States. It's actually really cool. Like I'm actually going over all these comments and there's so many effects to talk about. It's like actually interesting to open, right? Good job, team, you did it. But Energy Blast 2, choose your Vanguard, give it a skill for that turn that when the attack hits a Vanguard, you choose a card from soul and call it to rear. It's kind of cool. Like obviously it's not a confirmed hit, but it's kind of nice that you have that on hit pressure that you generate out of nothing, basically thin air. So I am kind of not the biggest fan of these on hit abilities, but I feel like there are some decks where you might want to use it. Oh, we actually have a token in here and it's Gabuelia, so we can actually kind of pull that out without even opening the pack yet. So that is one of our energy cards. We have our When Ditched in Ride Phase Soul Blaster to draw card, so that's one of the generics. We have new Gravidia support, which is quite surprising. This one's like front row rearguard circle once per turn. When your meteor goes to drop, you Soul Blast 1, look at the top card of your deck, put it on top or bottom, and then gain 5k. Pretty good considering that this makes Gravidia pack a bigger punch. The rare for Direful Dolls, this is one of the ones that when you place it on rear or guardian circle, if your Vanguard's a Direful Doll grade 3, you can choose a Direful Doll from your drop and put it to soul. And when it attacks, if you have a grade 3 or greater Direful Doll, it gets plus 10k from the battle, but then at the end of the battle it binds itself and you may CB one to draw one. So it's also a very good card because it's also a grade 3, so it has some very good applicability. This is of course the new product for Wellstra. So when you put it into the order zone, if your Vanguard's a Wellstra grade 3, you draw 1 energy charge 3, which is also very nice because Wellstra does use energy. Kind of makes sense too, being he's kind of like a CEO guy. And then when this is operated by one of your, operation effects, if it's operated by a Wellstra with a divine skill during the battle phase, then if this wasn't put in the order zone this turn, you can choose opponent's rear guard and retire it, and then choose opponent's Vanguard and give it minus 10k power, and if your opponent's damage is 4 or less, you deal them a damage. So it does a lot, but it kind of like very specifically cannot be used on turn 3, so it has to be used on turn 4, which is also pretty cool in my opinion. So it's a cool card. And then we have this as well as the Cray Elemental Draw Trigger. For a second I thought this was a cowboy because that looked like a hat, but it looks more like a stone dog, which is interesting. All right, just 3 packs remain for this first box. I've already taken my time and I'm having a lot of fun with it too because it just feels like there's so much to look at. But we've only pulled 1 triple rare so far, so I'm curious what we get. I'm assuming the FFR probably takes a slot from one of the triple rares, so we'll see how many we get. Oh, I really like the art of this guy too. So here we have our, what is it? Marilyn 18k attacker, which is very nice. And oh wow, we actually get the same triple rare. So it is the support for Rezael. So it's good to know you can actually get the same silver rare and triple rare in the same box. All right, and then it's just a common. It's the crying lady that Energy Blast 4 when she attacks to bounce one of your other front row rear guards and get plus 5k for that battle. So it's pretty good with Marilyn especially. So good thing to keep in mind. And this is the Rezael grade 2 of the ride line, and then the grade 1 of the quick start deck ride line 2. 2 packs left, and I think we should probably be getting a triple rare in both of them, question mark. So let's take a look and see what we get here. Another one of the When Ditched cards, ride line for Triumphant Dragon. A double rare, this is the Magnolia support. And place on rear if your Vanguard's a Magnolia, grade 3 or greater. Soul Blast 1, discard 1, and search your deck or drop for a Magnolia with a different name than your Vanguard. So you can search for Elder, for example, or a grade 0 normal order, reveal it, add it to your hand, and shuffle your deck. So it's a pretty good card just for finding Elder basically. And our triple rare is, oh, it is Chris Rain. So Chris Rain, of course, is the new lyrical boss unit as well as divine skill user. You can CB1 during main phase to choose one of the following effects, but if you have 4 more different name units, you can choose 2 of the 3, and if you have 5 or more different name units, so basically 4 rears and a Vanguard, you can choose all 3. First one is to draw a card and energy charge 3. Second one is to choose a unit, give it plus 15k power for the turn, which oftentimes is going to be the Vanguard, and the third one is for the turn to give her an extra crit. And then her divine skill is when she attacks a grade 3 or greater at the end of that battle, you can bounce all of your rearguards back to your hand, which is very good. To choose a card from your hand and call it to rear, and then basically make that unit's power and crit the same as her for the turn. It's really nice because this can actually make a 5th attack potentially too, but also it's like the multi-attack of this deck is tied to its divine skill, which means the once per game thing. But with how much pressure the first skill is exuding, I feel like this will be a pretty good deck overall. So we got ourselves a Chris Rain, very nice. and the starter, of course, for Dragon Empire, followed by, oh, I love this one. This is the normal order for Brancade. So Energy Blast 2 to look at top 2 cards of your deck and then put one to hand, put the other to the soul. So it's obviously, you know, a normal order in Brancade. They don't get used much, but I love the art of it just because the Army Penguin from Dimension Police is here. So that's like really cool to see him just still kicking out there. And then the starter for Rascalia. Very cute. All right, final pack. Let's take a look and see. There should be another triple rare at the bottom of the box here. So that we have a grade 2 for Triumph Dragon. This art is really cool too. This is the Blitz order for Brand. Energy Blast 2 to play it. Choose the attack unit, give it plus 10k power, and then you may discard 2 of your set orders in hand. Sorry, you may discard up to 2 set orders from hand. And then for each one you discard, you draw 1 and get another plus 5k. So it's really cool because it cycles out any unnecessary orders from your hand, especially in Gravidia. This could be cool. So pretty cool common. We have our Lyrical PG in this one too. And we have the triple rare for Magnolia, Banas Patis. So when placed on rear other than in battle phase, can almost one soul boss 1 and search for a Sylvan Horde Beast and choose your Sylvan Horde Beast Vanguard, and for every 2 grades of it, you choose a grade 3 or lower that is different named from your Vanguard and call it to rear from drop. So basically, if you're an Elder, this revives 2 cards, which is pretty good. And when it attacks, if you have a Sylvan Horn Beast Vanguard, then you can, for every 2 grades of it, give this unit plus 5k. So basically, it gets plus 10k if you're an Elder. So it's basically just Elder support. So pretty cool triple rare. We have ourselves a token. What's it going to be? It is Taizo. Very cool looking as well. And then we have our generic crit. And finally, another one of these. So now, the moment of truth is, what is this FFR? I really hope it is one of the Divine Skill users because I would say those are the best FFRs to get. But if not, I don't think I'll complain either because of course FFRs they're still around and they're still not as common. So that's why I'm a bigger fan of the silver rares. But if we get a Varga, I'll be very happy. But if not, I'll also be fine with it. So let's see. 3, 2, 1. Huh! Oh, Chris Rain FFR. Okay, that's a very good one. Like I said, if we can get one of the Divine Skill users, I am not complaining. And that is a beautiful FFR. I've never actually owned or pulled a lyrical FFR in my life before because they were never part of main sets where I would actually open cases. So it's really, really pretty. I'm trying to give you guys a close-up, but I'm filming this in the evening, so it's a little bit like a lot of my lights are kind of just reflecting off of it. But it looks really, really pretty. You can kind of see some of the foiling here as well. You can see like the texturing and whatnot here on the card too. So honestly, super pretty. All right, I would call that first box a dub. So let me show you some of these ratios. So I'm pretty sure the FFR does eat up a triple rare, which makes sense because we pulled a triple rare. But with silver rares and FFR combined, we got 6 triples. And funnily enough, 2 of them doubled up. So if you're particularly looking for these 2 cards, you get already half a playset just from this box. So that's kind of nice. And it's nice that even though you get the silver rare, you can still have a chance to pull something better than that too. So that's very, very cool on top of the 4 triples that we already have. So effectively 6 triples in this box. And you can see what the other boxes will look like from, I'll do a quick recap or like kind of like highlights of my case opening too. And then we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 regular double rares here. So you can see these ones. And then we have our 1 frame rare and of course the overtrigger that I guess our frame rares once per box, probably, maybe. For the rares, I know that most of you just care about how many PGs we got, so I'm going to quickly see if we actually got one of each. It does feel like we did, because I sort of have a memory that we got all of them. Yep, so looks like we actually do have all 6 nations in the PGs, so that probably means we're going to get 20 of each PG, which is going to be another couple of years worth of PGs for me, so I'm very happy about that, especially because, like, I love the Brancate one, I love the Dark States one, like, I think the Soikia one also looks really cool, and the Lyrical one too. I like the Lyrical one with fireworks the most, but still, Dragon Empire one looks also pretty awesome. And then for, like, the miscellaneous stuff, it seems like we get, what is it? 4 energy cards. So the energy cards, of course, they are flipped like this, but we also get 1 of each of the Cray Elemental triggers too, which is also very nice. That means we're going to have 20 of each from a carton too. So that has been it for this first box of the DivineZ Set 1 Fated Clash. Please do check out the remains of my case opening, as well as any of the other Set 1 content that I'm uploading too, such as first impressions, as well as my ranking of the Divine Skill users, if you haven't seen that already. Lots more DZBT01 content is coming your way too, so please do look forward to that. And otherwise, if you like the video, do give it a like, and if you haven't already, please do subscribe. And if you want to support the channel directly, consider becoming a YouTube channel member, as it helps to not only support the channel, you also get some bonus content, extra preview content. I even organize IRL events sometimes in Japan, and you help to fund some of my cool events like the Invitational. So your support is greatly appreciated. But with that, that's gonna be it for me today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.